Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a historical rules event for you. Our first round is going to be the Otto and Sherrick Farms, followed up by Cook's Countercharge. So there'll be two maps we haven't seen in a while. Before we get into that though, thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description where you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Our regiments for today, on the CSA side, you have Hampton's Legion, 20th Georgia, Hood's Division, 11th Mississippi, Army of Northern Virginia, 2nd United States Cavalry, Jenkins Brigade, Stonewall Brigade, and the 13th Georgia. Whereas on the Union side, you have the Kentucky Orphans, Texas Guards, New York Volunteers, 1st Kentucky 2 Corps, 51st New York, Alabama Volunteer Corps, and the Lee's French Legion. Actual server pop today is 250 inbound to 6 towards the CSA side. Artillery-wise, that's a lot for both sides. CSA have 12, the Union have 14, so that imbalance of 6 initially turns into an infantry imbalance of 8 in CSA's favor, which I'm sure they're going to appreciate. So, Otto and Sherrick Farms, there's not really a farm here. I mean, there is some corn there, but there's no farms. It's just a nice couple houses here. I guess there's a little orchard here as well. But historically, Otto and Sherrick, you've seen the Union side like to push up on the stone wall and then charge through and try to push the CSA out of this entrenched line. Although as of late, Union, as you can see here, wants to go more and more left. And it could be that this area allows for much more maneuverability than the Union right side of the map. And that is perhaps why Union wants to go this way. I mean, CSA doesn't have that many defenses over here compared to the other side. If we briefly look at the other side here, when Union pushes up, they got to go across kind of this open area. Union has a slight defilade here where they'll hold guys in the fence line. But for the most part, CSA has kind of entrenched lines up top. Whereas over here, things are at least a little more even. Not necessarily more favored to Union per se, but it's harder for CSA. I mean, CSA has a defensive line in the trees there, but it's nothing crazy. Frontline reporters today for our battle. For the Union side, you have Bluka here from the Texas Guards, and on the other side, you have Gene here from the Hampton's Legion. Very appreciative of both of those guys to give us their frontline view so we can see what's going on in the battle and on the overview as well. You know, it's a mix of both worlds. It's very beautiful. Union have a ticket advantage on this map, as does all attackers except for Maryland Heights. But the ticket advantage that Union has on this map is 52%, so it's going to be hard for CSA to keep pace with Union. For every one CSA guy that dies in formation, the CSA have to kill 2 Union guys to keep pace. It's very difficult. However, with CSA being able to hold down the Union assaults on this side, the map has kind of been fairly even. But this is probably the 3rd or 4th time I've seen this attempt from Union to full send the CSA right side. Which I need to spawn on the other side so we stop seeing that lovely pop-up. Weapons for this map, Union has the 28th Massachusetts with the Enfield and the 17th Michigan with the Springfield 55 and 61. And also the CSA side, they have the Palmetto Sharpshooters with the Enfield Mississippi. And then the 1st Georgia has the Enfield and Springfield 42. So CSA objectively has better weapons. They've got the buck and ball with the Springfield 42, acts as a shotgun. And the Mississippi weapon, it's shorter in length, so it's not that great at melee. However, it shoots at double the rate of what you will normally see. So CSA has an advantage with that. Union has an advantage with tickets. And so far, Union's been trying to test the CSA line by walking up to it. I say walking because they can't sprint, and they can't have bayonets until the 30-minute mark. Because they want to encourage more of a historical play style, which, you know, forming double ranks, doing volleys, and shooting. Because as the game has progressed over the years, the meta has really shifted in favor of charging. Shooting has really been weakened. Now, charging, there's going to be a lot more people dying than shooting.
We're getting hit hard.
And because of that, if you want to do a sit and shoot method to try to win as an attacker, you need a long period of time. And 45 minutes is a long time. But The thing is these days it's very difficult. It was kind of difficult to do already, but over the past year, especially, one of the changes that's notable is flag respawns went from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, which might make you think, well, people are spawning in more, people are shooting and killing each other more, so wouldn't shitting and shooting work more? Yes. However, another change that came with it was that each death is worth 20% less tickets. And that change was implemented after the flag spawn time was changed because matches were going so fast with the flag change that they had to make it so that the matches went longer. Because instead of matches finishing in, 40-45 minutes, which is what the devs intended, matches were finishing in like 30 minutes consistently, which is something you don't normally see. I wouldn't necessarily mind that per se, but
Independent fire, 16 works.
the reason why I say that is because, I watched the Hell Let Loose broadcast once, and it was like at most an hour long. The thing with War of Rights is that 2 rounds could take 30 minutes or an hour 45 minutes. I mean, there's no like consistent average time among events, which I think is also cool because it really lets you kind of play how you want. If as an attacker you want to be conservative and sit and shoot it out, you can do that. You can spend as much time as you want. You can early cap the point to stop the black timer from ticking down more. Or you can just play aggressive and try to finish the match right away. It's kind of neat.
Guys, everybody needs to be in the line. NCOs just take up the back rank.
So, on top of the flag respawn change and the less tickets dealt per death change, the tickets scale based on the server pop. There's a lot of people dying in a high pop server. And because of that, you don't want the tickets to go down super fast. But when you're on a smaller server, when less people are dying, you want each death to be worth more tickets so that the higher and lower pop server take the same amount of time. So on these high pop servers,
they're heading up hill 6. Gun them down.
Each kill doesn't matter as much. It's hard to shoot in this game. Most of the time you're gonna miss.
Orderly lined up, easy shots for you. Go center mass.
There's so much. I mean, it's hard to shoot. You don't know if you kill someone, so you can't adjust according to that. Also, when you're aiming, there's a random sway to it. Bullets also rise and drop as well, and so there's so much stuff that usually these shootouts are a one-to-one trade, and when you're shooting yourself, the odds say you're probably going to miss a lot of your shots, at least at medium to longer ranges. And this is kind of shorter distance, but there's a lot of cover and shade and whatnot. Regardless of that, though, CSA is kind of at a ticket lead right now on the Union. And I think part of that is just kind of that shorter to medium range that we're seeing in the shootout, which will favor CSA with that buck and ball. We've also seen a couple of Union groups just walk right up to the CSA line and try to do some point-blank shots, which sure, you're maybe going to get a couple of hits, but Union's done that like 3 times with smaller groups so far, and they've gotten shot back every time, and now it looks like Union is reforming. Now, they don't have a Steam chat in this event, remember? So if the officers want to communicate a new plan, they got to talk about it in-game in the invoice chat system. They can't use the in-game chat system. They don't have an outside Steam chat, which I think makes this event unique. I mean, there's always a little controversy between events for if you should use Steam chat or not. They both have their pro and cons, that's for sure. But obviously this is called the Historical Rules event, not the Steam chat voice event or the modern... I don't know what else you could call it, but... Anyways, 2nd US Cav acting kind of as skirmishers, maybe waiting to see if Union pushes down on this side, which they're reforming in the center side here. That ticker gap is growing more and more in CSA's favor.
Just behind the road.
Coming in front, coming in front. Oh shit.
Come on, ready. Come on.
Alright.
Fire.
You know, I thought they were going to fire the gun that was closest to my screen, not the one that was over there. That shot. That got some guys in the back, a flag or so. That one overshot. Normally you don't see that much already taken on this map because... I mean, let's just look at it from the positions of the gunners here. I mean, CSA position here, right? If Union pushes the CSA right, which Union has, obviously it's going to be nice for CSA artillery. But if Union pushes from this side, which you can see they're starting to test this side, you won't really see the Union, so you're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Texas Guards pushed up here, and they're having a little skirmish here with the 2nd U.S. Cav. You got a lot more Union shifting this way. NYV. 6 New York in particular. Bringing a lot of numbers there.
Are you gonna get shot?
Looks like you got the 1st Kentucky guys behind as well. And 2nd U.S. Cav is going to be pushed out of here in no time. Why are they...
There's no melee allowed out there, boys. Shooting. Hands up. Get him. Hands up. Get him. We will never surrender. Hands up. Selling a lot of stealing and then responding as the right unit. Keep shooting.
Yeah, guys,
Come
how you
and
doing?
get me, you bastards.
Hey, how we doing?
So Union's going to appreciate a couple of tickets there. But Union's got to find more ways to get a ticket advantage. Looks like the whole Union's pulled off that left side. But you can see CSA artillery is good if Union pushes this side. If we look at it from the Union arty position, at least this is where artillery mostly is, but Union's kind of moved the guns around. I mean, again, if the fighting's on that side of the map, you have an angle. But actually, this is actually not that terrible of an angle, too. I mean, it looks like this gun is focusing on the CSA on the left side, at least from Union perspective. Wow, these guns that move to the center here, which... that's how they were able to get them over there.
There is one rebel boy.
I mean,
on
these
the,
guns have a nice angle, but if
promenade.
Union does want to charge this right side from their view, Union artillery is not going to be able to do a whole lot. But I think Union's about to charge. 30 seconds until we get bayonets and sprinting. And at that point, I assume Union's going to try to just go out, just rip it and go. Because, I mean, Union's tried pushing up that left side. It has not worked. They're down 1/4 of a morale stage.
Fix bayonets. Get your bayonets close. Get your bayonets quickly.
Prepare for a full cavalry charge.
Heard him there. 29 minutes. It looks like some of the CSA have pushed up. There were a couple of Union guys up here, which is probably why they charged. I didn't see a couple of dead Union bodies, but Union's going to try full sending this CSA left side and see if it works. I mean, CSA, the nice part for CSA is the point's in the center of the map, and usually, I mean, I don't think I've seen Union try to play a cap game before where they like run out, try to cap point, and then fall back and try to draw this match out for a really long time. I don't know how well that would work, mostly just because of how close CSA is to that point. If Union ever wanted to try to hold that open field, they'd get completely shot at. So here comes the Union charge. I do think that Union should hop up and over, get set, and then go, because look how spread out the Union team is right now. That is something that you do not want.
Don't stop. Up and over. Get him, Janelle. Go, go, go.
Artillery shooting in the midst of that. I don't know who hit that. The Union blob kind of gets over there a lot more tight. You can see CSA smartly trying to get around the flank here. And trying to get those Union flags, which generally hold further back. Union first to go to engage. And it looks like Union's still keeping their flags up. Union has a wave of reinforcements moving in to hit 11 Mississippi behind 2 Corps. That's what Union kind of needs there, but it looks like CSA is going to hold this. So Nicely done from CSA. You can kind of expect that with the weaponry advantage that the CSA has on this map.
Let's go out to boats.
Get him out of here.
Get the flags
Road,
up. Get the
flag,
flags
road,
up.
road,
Do not
road,
stand
flag.
here. Let's go. Let's go.
Flag road, flag road. Oh,
Come on.
Oh, that
Nice,
flag
nice,
is
nice,
barely
nice,
out of
nice,
bounds,
nice.
so that's a good job from him. Flags, if they are on the ground, inbounds, it'll be a 5-minute despawn, but if they're out of bounds, they'll despawn within 10 to 15 seconds. So it's always advisable, if you can, try to run the flag out, which... Okay, good. I was going to say, if that guy ran up and he didn't have anyone else with him, that would suck that he grabbed the flag that would have despawned in 10 to 15 seconds instead of the flag that was inbounds that had a 5-minute despawn timer. But at least they got the flags back enough so their friendlies could get them. But that was a really good response from CSA. When Union charges up this side as well, CSA likes to do a similar thing where they push across the middle of the map and hit the flank when Union charges on this side. So it's a good little plan. I like that 2-Corps tried to flank 11 Mississippi
Or 5.
to try to stop that. And it was... Oh, look at that. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Alright, load standing.
And I kind of wonder, because on a higher pop servers, it favors the defenders in a considerable... It favors the defenders considerably. All those guys just topped a little down. I already shot. It was kind of funny. But when you get more defenders stacked up with better weapons like Buck and Ball, for example, it's going to be a lot harder for the attackers to break through. But even on a smaller pop server, every once in a while I'll watch that. Maps like Otto and Sherrick, for example, the CSA do considerably better than what I remember. Even on maps like Garland Stands, which I remember historically being Union bias, are now CSA bias, even on smaller pops sometimes. So I don't know if that's just CSA adapting their meta over the years, which that's definitely happened, or if maybe my memory doesn't serve me right. It's not like you're going to remember your losses as much as your victories, that's for sure. Unless they're extreme. So, Union's still down about 1/4 of a stage, which is not a good or bad thing necessarily for Union. You'd want to get some of those tickets back to make it more even. But as long as Union keeps things even, it's not the worst thing in the world. You can win as an attacker while being down a whole morale stage. A couple of Union guys, the 2-Corps guys are pushing up.
Left to bleak.
At the houses. And then shift left. That's fine. 23. We're gonna go down and to the road and then shift left.
Load.
Load.
Load and hold.
Check.
And the unfortunate part for Union is that generally you want to hit the defenders down to engaged by the 30-minute mark. And then taking losses, which is the next stage for both sides, by the 20-minute mark. And since this event starts at 42 each round, you can't sprint until 30 minutes. It makes it very, very difficult. The parameters of this event make it very difficult for the attacker to win while using a very slow pace. That slow pace being just sitting back and shooting. It's hard to win that way. And so Union's got to be aggressive, but we just saw them be aggressive. You like to see it, but CSA just held really, really strong. So it's not an easy game, that's for sure. I feel kind of bad for Union. Because, honestly, this was one of my favorite maps in the past. The devs kind of ruined it, which we might explain in a second. NYV is going out. Oh, Mississippi's getting some nice shots on the side.
About face run. Get out of here.
Where are they going?
Everyone get out of
Are
here.
they going to cap?
Make sure flying gets out.
Ah, okay. So this is what I was talking about a little earlier. Like, Union doesn't have a lot of time, so how they can give themselves more time is by capping the point. When they cap the point, the Blacks timer stops, and it's going to force CSA out in the open to kind of retake the point. CSA's got to get back out into the open, and that might be a strategy that Union needs to do on this map going forward, is try to sit in the open field here and force the CSA out into a melee in the open. Now, I don't know how well that would work with CSA having buck and ball and such, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to try, especially when everything else isn't working. So, Love Mississippi's kind of hitting the side here of Union. Union, as you heard from the Love Mississippi guy, they were not hitting a lot of those shots. CSA's kind of pushed up. Union has caps, so it stops the timer for now. And there's no downside necessarily for Union to do this. Now, if Union loses a lot of tickets in this exchange, then yes, they have a lot to lose in that aspect. But if the defenders were down on tickets, which they're not, and they retook the point, they would regain tickets. But since defenders are up, the defenders don't gain or lose any tickets out of this. So if Union can force a positive ticket change out of this, it can be worth it. CSA starting to charge in, though. HL, second US Cav. Mostly second US Cav. HL sitting behind. Right now, though, that ticket gap is not favoring Union at all. That gap has grown more in CSA's favor. HL is now pushing up. Love Mississippi is still hitting on the flank, and artillery's even getting in on the fun. So, you know, I like the idea that Union's trying something else, but unfortunately it did not work, and now CSA is up by 2/3 of a morale stage, and Union, that for now, has lost one flag. Maybe two. That flag's kind of far back. Lone Mississippi is still pushing up. I mean, they have tickets to burn, so them dying out of line like this is not necessarily a bad thing. If you can get those flags down, that could be huge. So, CSA on point. Going to start retaking it. Going to keep that black timer ticking down. But stuff like this really makes you wonder what you should try to do. Like, I almost wonder, and I've seen this a couple times in NA events as of late, which it's nice to see. They might get both those flags. For sure they'll get the top flag, but Union should try to charge one of these sides without their flags and then bring the flags with a company down the other side a little after the initial group starts charging. Because when you get, I mean, what's our server count right now? 270? I mean, that's a lot of people on this map. That's, what, 135 guys for each side? And the map, I mean, we can see with the CSA defensive line, they're covering basically the entire width of the map. And that's why, another reason why the defenders have bias on these higher pops is they can defend the whole width of the map. When we were playing on the smaller pop servers, the defenders could not defend the whole width. So the attackers could try to outflank, outmaneuver, surprise, deceive their opponent. And that worked great for the attackers, but now the attackers can't really do that since the defenders hold the whole width of the map. And so you've got to find some way to get back to that original idea of deceiving the defenders. One way to try that is, again, send all your guys down one side and just bonsai charge and send the flags and like a regiment or so down the other side, but send them a little after the fact. The reason why that could work is because if the whole defending team, let's say Union charges everyone this side, the left, and then they bring the flags and like a tinier regiment down the right side, right? The whole CSA team, if they overreact and hit the Union over on this left side, Union could run their flags up and potentially get a chance to hold their ground here too. And right, those 4 flags, they're going to spawn someone in every 5 seconds. And so Union's going to be able to remuster on this side of the map, if that worked out, for example, really, really fast. And so I think that type of strategy, maybe something other than that, should be looked into a little more and tried. Because what we've seen, at least on this map, is nothing's working for Union so far. And it could be the parameters of this event, but, I mean, since the 30-minute mark, they've been playing pretty traditional auto and Sherrick on this map. You could argue trying to hold in double rank and shoot like that is causing them to die more and make them lose more tickets, which is a valid argument, but in the grand scheme of things, that stuff is a little minor. Because when you're charging, you're pushing forward as Union on this map, you're going to be blobbed up regardless. So, I don't know. I think something like that could try to work. I mean, throwing the CSA off guard is a huge thing. Because here's the thing, too, right? If you charge everyone down the left and you send the flags down the right, CSA will either fully collapse on the one side, and if that happens, then you get your flags respawned, as I mentioned a moment ago. But let's say you charge down both of these sides, flags down one side, majority of your team down the other side, right? If CSA holds place and doesn't, like, overreact to the whole Union charge, you don't have to push the flags up all the way, and they could kind of sit further back to keep CSA on that side. But the rest of the Union team could just blob up and outnumber and defeat the CSA in detail. Sure, they might not be able to respawn, but you're just trying to find a ticket lead. So, I feel like that's something that really needs to be invested in. And tried out a lot more. Seen it a couple times over the past 2 weeks, which it's nice to see after you've been mentioning a strategy like that. I've mentioned it only for Garland Stand for a while now, but I think that idea could be spread out to most of the maps in this game. Anyways, Union's starting their push up again. They're mostly going this left side. They're now sending guys up the right side. So you got 2 Corps and LFL over here. Meanwhile, 88th is quick timing down the center road. Texas Guards here are holding a little further forward than I don't know why you're quick timing at this point in the round. And then you got 6 New York and TKO on this far Union left side. Haven't really explored the CSA defensive lines yet. You got 11 Mississippi, 6 Alabama, which is a part of A and V. On this side, you got more of the A and V kind of hunkered up in the center, with HL now on the back.
Once reloaded,
Just a little bit.
new line.
Just line,
Once
just
reloaded,
line,
into
just
the
line.
new line. Quickly.
Dress alright, boys. Dress alright.
You will be
Following this on the far left side, you got Jenkins Brigade, 20th, 13th Georgia. And then holding the extreme left is 2nd U.S. Cav. That's kind of adjusted as the round has progressed, but I actually do have LFL pushing up. I mean, this is a nice little spot. Sure, there's not a whole lot of cover, but you do have the shade, which I mean, even if we look from down here, look at this zoomed out. The shade, there's CSA guys right there, right? They're harder to see with the shade. You can see their silhouette, but the shade makes it a lot harder to see them compared to the people on the right side here. I mean, you can see them a lot better, especially the blue jeans in the sun. So shade is something that should be used very much so. You know, I saw this on Cox's push the other day, but I'm now seeing it here again. The black square of death. I don't know why it's there. It's weird. It's just like a random square in the center of the map. I don't know why it's there. I wonder if that's on every map. I mean, I know at least a spectator has a little square box. You can see it there moving with me. But that, I don't know what that is. Or maybe this is the box that I... But there's 2 boxes here. 3 boxes! 4? It's a little backwards flag, or maybe it's an L. That's so weird. Anyways. Yeah. Guys, we're here to look at the boxes. The boxes, they're very scary. They're very scary. So, Union gets shot off the left side again. CSA is going to hit engage shortly. And we'll see what the Union wants to do. Why is... So Union's shifting more guys off to this Union right side. I mean, we'll see what they're gonna do this time, but
up towards the houses.
I mean, the ticket gap is still about the same as before. It looks a lot closer than what it is earlier, but the bars are longer than what they seem. And so once CSA drops into taking losses, they're not going to move down on that bar for a while. Looks like most of the Union's gathering up on this side again. I mean, to Union's credit, it's been roughly 10 minutes since CSA hit engaged. So Union is at least keeping a good pace, but the problem was knocking them down to engage took so long that it's kind of difficult. I mean, if we take away the 3 initial minutes that we saw at the... Because, right, it starts at 42, not 45, so that the attackers lose 3 minutes right there. And so, keeping that in mind, it's now the 17-minute mark. And, I mean, moving out at quick time, or double quick instead of sprinting, that's about 30 or so seconds. So, I mean, what? I mean, that's a huge amount of time. Like, 3 minutes might not seem like a lot of time, but for something like this, it does. Like, imagine right now if there's 17 minutes on the clock instead of 13 and a half. Like, as Union, I would feel a lot better about the situation I'm in versus right now. To Union's credit, though, they only need to hit CSA down to breaking, which is their next stage, and then they can cap and win. But I don't know how well that would go, because, I mean, they dived down in here. CSA was able to throw Union off. Union was able to cap the point, but CSA wasn't. Let's say CSA was fine letting them cap. I almost wonder if Union should try to cap with less guys, hold guys back in this little wooded area here, wait for the CSA to pounce, and then hit the CSA as they're going in from the side or the rear. I don't know. I mean, as most things happen in battle, I mean, you have a plan and it all goes to crap. Oh, rip that guy. It all goes to crap. Also, a bullet shot right through the roof here. That was interesting. Science. How do you shoot that shot through the chimney? Oh, you can get up here. You can hop onto this and then jump up there. That's how they get up there. It's pretty fun. There's a little place on Rivers Crossing as well where you can do that.
Yeah, columns, boys, columns.
Go ahead and independent fire to the bleak right.
12 minutes left. Union. I mean, Union's got to do something soon. They don't have time. Maybe they're going to try to cap point again. See how it goes this time, though. LFL is spearheading this. You got the rest of the Union kind of moving out their way right now. Got a fair amount of Union back here as well. I mean, before this happens, I mean, if we look at this, right, imbalance is now, what, 7 in CSA's favor? It's 9 infantry-wise, which isn't a whole lot. But here's the thing. We have not seen enough from both sides. Artillery, we have not seen any justification for them to have this many guys. Like, imagine if Union had 12 more infantry guys than the CSA here. That could certainly help them. Artillery, we haven't seen that much of an impact. Anyways, oh my goodness. Union actually charged over here, trying to distract the CSA. 2 flags are down. CSA flags trying to run away from the infantry, but they'll get that back. Again, I like that attempt, but it was only with one tiny little group. You got a fair amount of Union sitting back as well. Not a lot of Union on the point. CSA is going to move on this quickly to try to retake and keep that black timer going. I assume they're going to try to.
Watch the flag. Go back. Break reload.
I mean, this position here, it's so hard for Union to defend, especially when CSA has that buck and ball. Like, Union could try to hold here, but they just get shot up. Union could try to fall back into the woods here and then go back out when CSA gets on point, but you're charging in. I mean, I guess kind of regardless, you got to charge into buck and ball at some point. You just got to find the best possible scenario for yourself.
Don't worry, we will find TG. Don't worry, Wolby.
Hey, man, we need to find find them. Hey Baron, can you hold my hand? I'm scared.
It's okay, it's okay. We're all scared.
Okay, they are in spawn.
We're all scared.
We survived.
So CSA is going to retake. Black Timer is going to continue. I mean, it brought everyone's tickets down, which is good for Union. But they're getting closer and closer to final push, and that'll drop that Black Timer down to a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Eddie.
At this point, you don't need to see them, just make them know we're here.
Split out. Ryan, get a fence post in front of you.
Rip to Eddie.
Eddie's got from the fire. Where the smoke is.
Rank to the
Oh,
left.
he got some counter battery, almost hitting TG. I mean, it may be got a guy or so, but CSA retake, Black Timer continues. That ticket gap is honestly, it's getting a little closer towards Union than what we saw earlier. It was like 2/3 of a morale stage different earlier. But now it's back down to a 1/4 of a stage, so Union's working it back.
Somebody grab the. I'm going with them to keep them not from Ramboing. Alright, 5 miles left, 5 miles left. There you go, bring it back.
Jump left, jump left, jump left.
Over left.
Texas Guards is trying to push up that side. Looks like they're just going to try to shoot from a short area here. Was this box always here and I just never noticed it? So much shade here in the Antietam battlefield. So much shade. LFL's pushed alongside the Texas Guards. And CSA is just shredding the Union up.
Don't crouch, please.
Unfortunate. I mean, when we were going up here a moment ago, you could not see the CSA until you could not see the amount of CSA until you hit right click. I mean, looking at this, we can kind of see them here, but there's so much CSA in there, and it doesn't look like it. I mean, maybe you could tell with the amount of smoke, but you got some more CSA shifting over to assist on that side. Not that they need it per se, but it always helps to have more manpower in certain areas. But at this point, the only way Union's going to win is if CSA makes major mistakes, which we haven't really seen them do, or hit CSA into braking and cap and win. I mean, Union has enough time for like 3 charges, I would say. 2 charges are getting CSA into braking. And so that's the only shot Union has at this point, is to try to cap point while CSA is in braking. And the question is going to be, can they take that point?
Right, guys, they're going right, so they're going to plan to hit us on
Can they take it when CSA wants to actively defend it? And I mean, this is active. CSA charging out Union, LFL wanting to counter charge onto the CSA, which just might hit Union into braking, but these kind of charges over here, yeah, I think they're kind of helpful for Union here. A lot of these spread out charges are going to get skirmishing and out-of-line deaths, which Union needs to bring the CSA down on tickets, but CSA are going to beat Union again. They're going to get that flag. I mean, at this point, CSA has enough tickets to... I don't know if CSA is going to hit last stand. I doubt if they will.
Hold it back, hold it back, hold it back.
Back to the house. Oh my god. Nice jam.
All the way over here, over here, over here.
But Union will be able to recover that flag. Union's about to hit braking. CSA shortly to follow. But I really think Union's going to... They're going to charge in and try to cap it.
We're going.
Does Kentucky
Now, obviously, zoomed out here, this charge is kind of questionable, especially since a fair amount of the Union are respawning at main. I mean, Union's trying to go in on the point while only going in with part of their team.
On the right, on the right.
Go through the gap, all the way through to the left.
freaking housetop.
Oh my goodness, canister.
All the way through, keep going right.
Actually, they're not going to try to cap. They're going to try to go straight down center. And they're actually trying to go up. CSA hopping in.
Happy birthday, Parker.
Haven't seen fighting over this particular spot in a very long time. At least since the devs removed the ability for flag bearers to spawn people inside houses. You appreciate the effort. They capped the point a good chunk of the way. And both sides are about to hit breaking. Now here's the thing, right? CSA is going to be more wary of the point. They want to make sure they're on it, make sure Union don't get it. So Union dropped a breaking. CSA almost there as well, but it's going to take a minute or so for Union to reform unless they keep charging in like this. First Kentucky is going in kind of on their own right now. And they are going to get wiped. Meanwhile, Texas Guards and I assume LFL is going for it. I don't know where Texas Guards are. Maybe they're formed up over there and they only sent a couple guys to get the flag, but LFL's pushing up on this left side on their own.
Recharge la croupe ici, il faut recharger la croupe.
Ah, le canon, on a pris un coup de canon.
Ils sont sur le west, canon est west.
Now, the flag bearer had a viewpoint for that. Holy crap. But looks like Union's kind of halted. And they're trying to reform. I mean, next charge, it'll happen. CSA will hit breaking, but Union's got to win on point. You can see CSA is starting to hold on top of point, though, which Union already. Time to shine. CSA countercharging again, trying to get that Union flag, which they will, or they should get. Yeah. Texas Guards are pushed out here again, trying to get some nice shots into them. 5 minutes.
DG, fall back, let's go, we're getting shot now. Let's go, pull back, boys.
And Union kind of running up, taking shots, and then falling back. I mean, that ticket gap is still about a fourth of a stage. Union's got 2 charges left, and that second charge might be a little unorganized. We'll see, though.
Over here.
I don't know what Union's waiting on.
Make sure you're in the Discord as well. I don't know.
Fire.
Are we going up?
It would be handy. We're not sure. We weren't.
Back up here.
Ya Allah.
Everybody form up. Everybody.
That's 4 minutes.
We push down the road? We pushing down the road, yes or no?
No, this side, right here. We'll go straight right on in right here.
Well, let's go. It's already past 4. Are we ready to go?
Let's go. Move.
Let's go. Flag, stay a little behind, but not too far behind, because otherwise we're gonna shoot.
Ándale, por favor. Oh, they're so ready.
So, this is probably the last organized charge we'll see from Union. Outside of this, it's going to be a trickle, and CSA shifting it already to hold.
Hold the gap. Keep it going, I gotta get my sword out for you, boys.
CSA collapsing in on the flanks. HL's doing that right now. See, that's what our frontline reporter is looking at here. CSA is pushing out, though, kind of in the field to make sure Union can't even get close to point. They are shredding through the Union. 1 Union flag down right now. 3 minutes left. Union almost halfway through breaking.
Get shit on, you rebel scum.
Die.
How about
Kill him. There's not many left. We won.
Oh, you too? You want some too? Come here. Come here.
And with 2.5 minutes left, Union spawning in at main. I mean, what are they saying?
We push down the road. We push down the road this time. Left. Push down the road left.
Okay, copy. Elle est faite devant moi.
So it looks like they think they have enough time to organize, and 2 minutes is plenty of time to do that. Getting your bayonets to reload, it'll take you 30 seconds to get done.
Allez,
See a couple more Union guys spawning. Looks like the artillery people are going to join in the charge as well.
swing it left.
Well, I went out spawn. I know where you guys would go.
I mean,
They should put the artillery in the front of the charge. They need to take the bullets.
Yeah, but they're gonna be on the point, which is the enemy's on.
well, we're gonna go together then. We need to all go
Right,
together. We need to go together
Right,
now.
Cooks are...
All right, Cooks. Here
Union
we're
does
going.
not have enough time.
My phone's
I
left,
don't know.
Texas. My phone's left, Texas.
Single file on...
Wait, we should wait for everybody else. There's still a lot of people.
1.5 minutes left on the clock. Union spreading out. Looks like they maybe have 2 prongs here. One far left, one more center. And they're gonna go. CSA is already shifting over to this side because they see him over here.
I got left. Go back. I got left. Right here.
This charge is interesting from Union here. Nice little flank from the CSA guys here on the road. Who is this? 6 Alabama. That's a beautiful flank because Union's not going to be focused necessarily on you. They're going to charge straight into the CSA. That's a beautiful spot. Union's about to hit final push. 45 seconds left. CSA holding strong on this front. Center side, CSA holds. This isn't even close. The only chance Union has at a charge like that is they've got to try to turn into the CSA side, hit their flank, and then push down. Because the problem is Union's spreading out so much in their charge at the big CSA line, and that means everyone on the CSA line is going to be able to see you. If you turn the flank on CSA, at least you have an advantage on the side, at least for the moment. Who knows if it would change much, but CSA won't even hit last stand, so really well done to CSA. They've played this map perfectly, and that's what we've seen the past couple of times from CSA on Otto and Sherrick. They have done nearly everything right to win these games. Union has to find another way to win these maps. They cannot just kind of keep doing the same old thing. I mean, they've been trying to go down the CSA right, Union left side. We saw that at the beginning of the round now, but that didn't work out that well. It maybe worked the first time because CSA wasn't expecting it, but something's got to be changed. And we'll see. The meta will eventually change. Hopefully. I mean, I feel like there's at least a little wiggle room on this map to be able to change the strategy. But well done, CSA. Again, they really played that perfectly. I mean, they can defend the whole width of the map. They reacted quickly to whenever Union hit a side, and they kind of sweeped up on the flank of the Union when they charged up, and they would wipe them. They retook the point quickly when the Union capped to keep that black timer going down, and I mean, really not much more to say from CSA. They've figured out something that works very, very well on this map, and it's going to be a question of how does Union respond. That being said, we will see you all shortly for round number 2. And here we are for round number 2. Cook's counter charge, server pop quickly. So CSA doesn't have artillery on this map. Union does. And Union not taking any artillery. Props to them. Imbalance is 10 towards the CSA side. The Stonewall Brigade balanced from CSA onto the Union side. So very appreciative for that. To make sure the sides are at least a little more balanced. Anyways, with that being said, ticket imbalance on Cook's countercharge is 37% advantage to the CSA side. Weapons, Union has the 28th Pennsylvania Regiment with the Springfield 61 and the 52nd New York with the Enfield, whereas the CSA side had the 3rd Arkansas with the Enfield and the Springfield 42 and the 27th North Carolina with the Springfield 55, Enfield, and Springfield 42. So, whole CSA team basically has buck and ball. It's going to be difficult for Union to try to defend. CSA historically pushed this far left side, or they pushed the far right side. Union guns are so far forward, that's why Union's not taking them. Anyways, Union's kind of holding a forward position here. Remember, no sprinting, no bayonets until 30, but with the amount of firepower that the CSA has, it wouldn't be surprising me if they pushed the pace. And you can see 2 corps pushed up here already. A&V and 13th Georgia are already slamming into them, killing a lot. LFL's up here for Union as well. And you can see LFL, they're just dropping over here. So, historically, this has been a very rough map for the Union, and I mean, just the setup, you could tell why. You could see Union outside of this center area. They're holding in two traditional spots. You got a little hill there that they're holding on. And then over here they have maybe some defilade, some trees and whatnot they can use. If Union loses this defensive line, they can fall back behind the point. You can see there's kind of a hill here, and Union can use it to their advantage. If they have to fall back more, they can use the graveyard there or push back into the woods over there to kind of turtle. And look at this. A&V is pushing up. They're trying to get into the side of Serpent's Brigade and NYV here. And you can see the Union is just being shredded. There's no hope. And so they're going to get out of there, try to get that flag out so they can at least keep their respawns going. Union on this side, maybe seeing their right side collapse. They're starting to fall back. 88th, TKO, and 2-Core / LFL are holding here. Oh my goodness. You know, I thought more would be shot there. They got a couple though.
Independent, aim low, aim low, aim low.
Independent.
Independent fire, boys!
Independent fire. Hot barrels.
Flags moving to the right.
And surprisingly, CSA putting more pressure on the Union right. Historically, you see more CSA like to go down this side because there's a little more cover, at least with the corn. And also being able to take this hill, which I've heard some CSA call it Victory Hill. It's a nice hill apparently for them, but we'll see what happens. I mean, the issue for Union is now that the Union right has kind of fell, the CSA, as you can see what they're doing right now, they're just going around. They're going to be able to flank behind the whole Union team, and Union will kind of be crushed. So 6 Alabama's pushing up top. 11 Mississippi is a little further to their right. 20th Georgia, and I assume 13th is nearby. That's the other part of A and B. Maybe 13th is in the distance. Usually 13th and 20th Georgia stick by each other. But the CSA team is kind of collapsing in on the Union team right now, and I don't know if they're not aware or they just want that hill badly, but it's a rough situation. Speaking of not noticing, First Kentucky, you need to look to your right.
Hey guys, we need help on the right. You need to help us on the right, gentlemen. Killed him. He grabbed the rest.
Come here. Come here.
What a wipe there from 6 Alabama. Friendly's just shot, and I maybe came to 1 or 2. And they're just going to keep going up here. Union trying to fiercely defend their sides. They still don't see 6 Alabama. Now they do.
They're all behind us.
Attendez.
There you go.
Wait. Oh, that's
So, nice little try there. You can see the Union who got pushed back on Union right have spawned back in at their main spawn over here. And they are starting to push up and try to hit CSA on the side and make sure they don't push too far for a flank. They did protect their flags, which is important.
Keep aiming low. You're aiming at the legs or the waist. Legs and waist.
Catch a bullet for you, Baron, don't worry.
But I'm a little surprised the CSA in the center here aren't trying to push up. I mean, they are in nicer defensive spots. And, I mean, look at that. We're already, what? It's been 6 minutes since the action has started. I had it because we started at 42, right? And it's really been, what, 4 minutes since the shooting's begun.
On the captain.
And Union's already down half the morale stage, and they haven't really even done a whole lot. When Union are crunched down in those bushes there. Which, they are defilated from the CSA on this side. You can tell when you get closer.
Oh, they're in the bush
But-
right there. We're pulling it back. We're pulling it back. Pull it back. Pull it back.
Malgré le feu sur les rochers qu'ils étaient nord-ouest.
I heard some of them wanting to pull back, but most are saying CSA's inching a little more guys up this side. A and B6 Alabama is reforming.
Right side.
Right side.
Keep dressing left.
Front rank dress.
Rear rank's about to dress after the load.
I'm surprised the CSA on this corn haven't pushed up yet.
Get your bayonet off.
Nope.
I don't have bayonets.
They're engaging our
Yeah,
friendlies to the
yeah,
north.
I don't see it in my case.
That's weird.
B company, B company only. Independent
out.
fire over.
B company, independent fire. B company.
Like Gene's trying to just figure out where the Union's at. I don't know what these guys are shooting at. I mean, maybe they don't see these guys, but CSA looks to push up a little more on that side as Union's over there. I'm surprised the AHL isn't going up and over and charging right behind, because the thing is, right, is that the no sprinting and no bayonet rule, the only huge impact is the sprinting, right? When you have no bayonets, it takes 3 bonks to kill someone instead of 2 stabs. Which that just means the charges kind of last a little longer, but not being able to sprint up to your opponent's line is kind of a big thing. But, I mean, HL, if they went up and over, which they have, I mean, they could kind of surprise the Union. They're kind of sitting and shooting, though. LFL's trying to move up and engage. Which, CSA is buck and ball, and this is not the spot you would want to be in as Union. And now second U.S. Cav pushes up. Union's going to get out of dodge. I mean, we briefly saw Union over there. They're being shot up. Everywhere Union goes, they're being shot up. Well, what can you even do? I mean, again, 30 minutes is that mark you want to hit the defender down to engage, and CSA is going to hit him down before that. So, I mean, again, the rule set of this event prohibits the attackers, most certainly. But, obviously, depending on the map, things can differ. So, CSA go up and over now. They've got that hill. Union's going to try to reform on this backside, maybe use the defilades. I mean, for sure, CSA could see him. So, some CSA have even pushed up to this fence line here, getting up and close and personal with the Union. I mean, if CSA keeps fighting and engaging the Union at these shorter ranges, CSA is going to do many beautiful things on this map. And, I mean, CSA's up half a morale stage. It's absurd. Absurd. And I kind of wonder if CSA is going to try to charge the Union out once we finally get to the 30-minute mark. I would bet that they would, just because they got the 11th Mississippi and A&V on their side, which these two groups are the most aggressive groups in this event, and it's not even close.
On the line, boys. On the line.
Yeah, I still can't see.
We can cut the grass, boys.
Here, push it up, push it up.
Right here. Right here.
It'd be funny if there was a personality test in War of Rights.
Oh my god, did I just kill?
Like, you could tell if, like, what kind of officer you would be, like, if you'd on a charge a lot or whatever. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. But CSA inching their way maybe a little further forward, at least in the center. Not a whole lot. Union do drop to engage. Union's falling even further back. Now, I don't necessarily like that Union is... I mean, if Union's trying to hold on these straight fences here, I don't really like that a whole lot. The fences aren't going to provide a considerable amount of cover. But the issue being is that Union has a great position here where they can defilade from the CSA and kind of hide and then pop up and take their shots. Maybe they're taking a lot of casualties from this spot and they don't like it, so they're trying to reform further back with their team, which that's what they're doing. But the problem is Union has essentially given up outside of the regiment on the far right side of your screen. Union's given up this side of the map, and if CSA does decide to push up, especially since the 30-minute mark is going to get hit, Union could be really cornered into their spawn. I mean, Texas Guards is over here, but I mean, if that whole CSA group pushes up, Texas Guards ain't going to hold that on their own. But Union's shifting, kind of covering their ground over here. I mean, here we are, 30 minutes sprinting is live, sprinting in bayonets. I don't know if the CSA can charge this far over. It might be out of bounds for them. Who knows?
Fix bayonet. Fix bayonet.
Fix bayonet.
company, no bills.
New York, keep up, keep up the fire.
And for all we know, CSA could cap the point and try to force the Union out. And actually, you got Union starting to move out of their main spawn to try to get around CSA, maybe take some of this ground back. You know, I can appreciate that. Even though Union did kind of give up a lot of that ground over here, it's really going to depend on if CSA takes, which they're starting to push up. But I like that Union's trying to organize as a team, figure out a plan, and then go from there. Because a lot of times, especially when battles start going bad like this and you have a rough map, you know, a team will kind of just start doing their own thing, not really working together. And chaos can unfold, but Union doesn't necessarily want that. Maybe they're going to try to push CSA out. I mean, Union only wins this map two ways, is by getting a ticket lead, which won't happen ever. Or they could try to have CSA cap, which CSA is going to, and then trying to hit CSA, who is now considered the defender, into last stand and then retaking. Odds of that happening, though, are pretty small, just because you never see that in this event, and it's not an easy thing to do, because trying to knock CSA down to last stand, which would be, what, 3 1/4 morale stages at 12 minutes? That's a morale stage every, like, 3 1/2 to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. I mean, that you got to be fast, and in this situation, it's not there. And the only time I think you should try to push the opponent into last stand is if both sides are, like, very low in a particular morale stage. Like, if both sides are low in battle ready, low and engaged. So, looks like CSA pushed up this side. You can at least see that with Blucher's view on the top left. He's still chugging. Never mind. That's not Blucher's view. That's Gene. Well, I guess, hey, you know, the cool part is you could have watched both of their views in that little charge up there. But, you know, looks like 6 New York is trying to push out. They get 6 Alabama. They brought their flag up, but they don't have a lot of guys left. Meanwhile, CSA over here are running into the flank of the Union. Union's starting to back off because of that. A couple of Union guys going up center. They're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Although it looks like CSA's down on points, so they're capping it back for the moment.
I'm just gonna shoot you in the face. It's fine.
Give us a second. We'll be there in about 7 to 10 days.
Oh, that was a slaughter.
About face.
Yeah, you said that. I'm pulling back.
So, nice little flank there from, I think, 13th and 20th Georgia. Beautiful flank on their part. That throws the Union out of their side. Union flag is down, but you have a couple, a guy or so running out to get it. He's probably going to get shot. Just picked up the stick. The almighty stick. And the stick protect. And he gets out. Heart bowl. So Union reforming up on this side. Both sides getting close to those next stage. CSA is going to hit engage first. So unlike last round, the defenders are down in tickets. So Union would regain tickets and a considerable, almost a morale stage in tickets if they did decide and eventually do retake the point.
Right a big other side of the fence.
Union's trying to push out this side. This is what I kind of meant. They gave up this ground carrying Texas Guards was holding, but they got wiped. Now CSA's kind of trapping on their spawn. CSA hits engaged.
Guys, break those loads. Head on the fence.
And the Union team going to spearhead HL, and Union's going to eventually break through this.
Let them come over. Hold the fence. Hold the fence.
Got a couple more CSA reinforcements moving up. And despite what I said, I mean, the second U.S. Cav and HL is holding pretty well here. They do get beat eventually. But nice little hold there. It's bringing everyone's tickets down. Union hit taking losses 8.5 minutes. So Union, for the moment, have that flank secure. CSA have 2 flags down over here. One of them is running back to I don't know where. But Union might have a little advantage here. Because you nearly wiped HL and 2nd US Cav. You got to move quick, though, before they can get reformed. Granted, Union took a beating there as well, so they would have to sit there and reform. I mean, CSA right now has a lot of tickets, and so CSA is probably very much willing to hardcore defend that point if need be. And if Union does start retaking, it makes even more sense for CSA to try to hold it. Because, one, if you hold it for 8 more minutes, you win. But on top of that, too, if Union does retake the point in the end, CSA doesn't want Union to go up a whole lot of tickets, so CSA would bonsai in and die so that their tickets would drop a lot, and then Union couldn't regain as many.
They're pushing the right.
Don't stop shooting!
Keep it shooting, keep it shooting.
They're all clumped there. Line them up, boys. Let's see them. We need to right wheel. We need to right wheel.
Forward, right wheel us.
Right wheel, right wheel.
Right wheel, forward.
Right wheel!
Right wheel, up,
And so that attempt looks like it's starting now. I mean, Union has secured this side of the map back, so they're going to take their chance. 7 minutes on that clock. CSA starting to shift over a little further on this side. They're also pushing up more on this side, maybe trying to do a similar thing we saw in the Otto and Sherrick map, getting to the side of the Union as they charge up. And it's 6 Alabama doing it. And some more Union are going to charge and prevent that, but a lot of CSA firepower and the 6 Alabama are getting that. CSA see the charge and they're going to move in.
Enemies on the right.
And CSA smartly going after the flags. 1 CSA flag down as well. And here comes some more. CSA collapsing in. CSA is holding.
You missed.
Go for the flags, kill them all.
Fix that Bayo, fix that Bayo.
Don't stop, boys, keep going.
And that was not even close. Good attempt from Union, though. Union will get all their flags back. CSA is trying to prevent that. But well done from these flag bearers here, getting them back far enough so that their friendlies can get them back. CSA might hold up here. I doubt they will, though. But, oh my goodness. How'd he fly like that? How do you get flung? There's no artillery going on unless he got buck and balled by like a whole line, but ragdolls like that don't happen anymore. They used to, now they don't. So CSA hold a little further forward. Now if Union did want to try to go to that side again, they could most certainly try, but don't know about that. Union might actually hit final push for this whole thing, because right, CSA's defender, Union attacking, Union can now hit final push, and that would drop the gold timer potentially.
Pop up here and get them down to the north. You can see them in that road there. Just shoot at them. You might want to kneel soon. When you reload, you might want to kneel so you don't get shot. Nice. Light casualties so far. Yeah, that definitely.
And I mean, Union is down 1 flag for the moment. They're going to be able to pick it back up. It's really good that Union got those flags back, because if Union lost the flags in the center of the field here, which CSA is basically holding as a team, if a Union guy died, he would have to spawn back at main, so Union could never really get a foothold on point. But looks like the Union at least sending some guys to try to go around this side. Texas Guards going over here.
Do we go back to the flag?
I believe.
But 11 Mississippi is going to charge him right away.
Let him come over. Oh fuck, blue chair.
You got some more CSA starting to shift over as well. And I mean, the biggest thing for the Union is trying to get CSA flags, which 11 Mississippi and ANV, they did not bring their flag up, which is good. You can see it's kind of running back over there. So smart decision on that part. I mean, that's the only way Union's going to be able to break through the CSAs if they get the flags down, so CSA can't get respawns up here. Union main spawn is significantly closer than the CSAs, but good hold there from Union, and they might be able to push out and hit CSA in the side. Almost 3 minutes left on the clock. Union's trying to get around the CSA's right side as well, which 2nd US Cav and I assume HL. Yep, they're blocking this up. And Union has LFL and a couple of other groups up here. Meanwhile, back on the other front, Union's pushing out. And they're going to go straight in. Might be on their own, though. Union's going to hit braking, not that that matters.
Watch your wheel, watch your back. Watch out. There you go.
There they go, 2.5 minutes. Again, the Union tickets don't matter because since they're down, they're going to go up to the percentage of tickets that CSA is at if they retake, which is why their tickets only matter. But Union tickets only matter if they hit final push, which that gold timer is not going to drop. Anyways, here comes some more Union.
Start loading and then break it if they get in melee.
Hey, I want right through your line because there was a huge gap.
Hey, you can stop my boys in the back.
Oh, my bad. Oh, fuck.
So these guys from Union. The problem for Union here is that they kind of charged in. They didn't charge in as a big old group, and so CSA is kind of able to bounce back and forth between each of these sides.
Brace and hold here, 13th. Brace and hold.
There's more of them
It
coming.
really looks like CSA's going to outright hold this. I mean, Union has 1 flag, 2, 3 flag down right now. 3 flag down. Union over there never pushed up. They just kind of sat a little further back, but rough, rough, rough.
Get him, boys, get him.
And Union runs up and turns back around. They're running the pacer test right now. Anyways, Union trickling out from main spawn. They're just trying to go in, maybe get those flags back. 1 minute left on the clock. But Union's just not even touching the line anymore. My oh my. It's a push from LFL.
Left base, left base.
So, yeah, 30 seconds left. Here comes the last Union hurrah. Not having bayonets and loads, most likely. Look at that. So, really well done from CSA. I mean, I think with what we saw last round with how dominant CSA was, switching over to a map that was considerably more biased in their favor, this is not a surprising outcome. It would be interesting to see if the CSA team today, it'd be interesting to see if they would have won as Union round 1. It would be interesting to see. Yeah. But, anyways, good job from CSA. As Union, there's really not much you can do on this map. It's ridiculous. I mean, the only way to win is, as I mentioned, wait till each side hits the bottom of a morale stage and then let them cap the point and then try to push them in last stand. Because outside of that, Union's fighting a losing game, trying to hold ground. You're just going to get pushed back. But regardless, good 2-0 from CSA. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to support the channel more. We have a Patreon where you can get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise the regiment in the bottom of our videos and get an additional broadcast per week. Besides that, though, we have our Discord merch, X, Instagram, TikTok, and more. All those fun links in the description as well. Anyways, I appreciate you all a lot. I hope you enjoyed again, and we will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your night.